What's up, Dallas Cowboys fans? IndyCar Tim here with your Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. Welcome into a Monday. It is not a victory Monday, unfortunately, as we had Eagles and Cowboys yesterday. Hope you got to watch the kind of the post-game instant reaction we had to all of that. And my instant thoughts on the Cowboys and where they're going this year for the rest of the season, as you're now 2 games behind the Eagles. And they own the tiebreaker as well. Of course, we'll have another chance against Philadelphia there on December 10th on Sunday Night Football. So we'll see where the 2 teams are at that point and what the season looks like for the Cowboys. I wanted to bring up something that I've noticed as a trend here for the Cowboys. You may find it interesting. You may not mean anything. But I've noticed the Cowboys here struggling lately in the second half of games. When you look at the wins they've been involved in, the 5 wins, they have outscored their opponents 56-21 in the second half of games. Now, that's a little misleading, and I'll explain why in just a second. In the 3 losses to Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Arizona, the Cowboys were outscored in the second half 42-15. Clearly, if you're outscored that much in the second half, you better have a really big lead in order to win that game. And, of course, the Cowboys have not in those games. The Arizona game really wasn't close. Obviously, the San Francisco game wasn't close. The Cowboys had an opportunity, of course, last night. Two opportunities, really, inside of 2 minutes against Philadelphia, and could not make that happen. But even in the 5 wins that the Cowboys have notched this year, you are the trend is sort of subsiding as far as outscoring opponents. So, of course, your 3 big games to start the season, your 3 big wins. Of course, the Arizona loss was Game 3 sandwiched in with these, but you had the Giants. You outscored the Giants in the second half 14-0. You outscored the Jets 12-0. And then against the Patriots in that blowout, you outscored the Patriots 10-0. The last 2 wins, though, have been somewhat questionable when you look at this trend, because against the Rams, the Cowboys tied the Rams in the second half. Now, they had a huge 33-9 halftime lead. I get it, and that's why they won that game. 10-10 was the second half scoring. And then when you look at the Chargers, you actually were outscored 10-11 or 11-10, however you want to say it. So the trend of blowing opponents out in the second half here has somewhat subsided, and so have the Cowboys' wins, it seems. So clearly there's a correlation there. I don't know if the Cowboys, again, early in the season they were used to getting out to the big leads. They were used to getting out to, good grief. Some of the scoring was ridiculous at the beginning of the year, 40-0 over the Giants, 30-10 over the Jets, 38-3 over New England. So, you get out to those big leads, and, your offense completely changes in the second half. So that's a lot of what that is. But, the Cowboys have not been a come-from-behind team this year, and that's indicative of the halftime and later scoring. So, just something I noticed. It could mean nothing. It could be something. I don't know. I do know what I've seen. The eyeball test, the Cowboys recently, when we've had a chance to look at this, the game management seems poor in the second half. It certainly seemed poor and questionable in the second half against the Eagles, where the Cowboys, even though they had chances, you really let the clock get away from you in both of those drives. Near the end of the fourth quarter, when you were coming down to potentially take the lead. Time management is huge in the NFL. We all know that, and a lot of coaches pay more attention to that than other coaches do, and that's fine. But it just seems to me like Mike McCarthy, in his tenure here, he has not been a good clock manager, and it seems to be continuing this year now that he's running the offense. And it seems to be, at least last night on Sunday to the Eagles, it seemed like it was somewhat of a detriment. Cowboys could have had more time, especially on that final drive where you just really had no chance after the penalties once you got down to, I think, the 6 or something. So anyway, just some second half thoughts I had for the Cowboys. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from you about the Cowboys season as we go forward, what you think, if they can turn things around here. Do they have a shot at the division still? Do they, clearly they're going to be a playoff team. I mean, that's going to be a given. But how threatening of a playoff team are they going to be once they get there? We possibly looking at another one and done. God, I hope not. That would be miserable here in Dallas. So anyway, we'll find some more stuff to talk about for you here later in the week. We will certainly preview the Giants coming up, as that is the Cowboys' next opponent. Don't overlook the Giants, okay? I'm not saying they're going to lose, but please just don't overlook the Giants. Don't overlook anybody at this point. I don't think you have that you can't do that. I don't think the Cowboys can do that. They're not good enough to do that. So, but we'll talk about it later in the week. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and until the next show, we'll see you.